It's such a huge piece of time management. There's nothing so useless as doing well that which does not need to be done.
Oh, amen. It's right. It's everyone is busy, right? And our guest yesterday was talking about his clients who are busy, 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 right? John Mitchell's patients will come in and like everybody's busy. Well,
Mhm.
right, like, you don't have that's the thing about time management. You don't have a time problem. You have a priority problem. You have an energy problem. You have a focus problem. Time is a continuum. It's going to keep going. It's you have a you problem.
Indeed.
So what do we do about it? Or what else?
Oh, well, you got to make sure that you schedule everything in time blocks, and you got to make sure that you've got your task list, and there's going to be priorities, and
Oh, oh,
micromanage every little thing, right?
yes, and be sure to color code it too. That's really important. That's how you know you're getting it done and you're succeeding is if you've got like all one of my clients had and one of my clients took pride in it. Very successful person who took pride in his checklists, having like different color paper, I shit you not, um, different markers to signify different types of tasks. And it
Mhm.
felt amazing until we started working together and just destroyed them. It was like you could wipe yourself with it, or you could wipe your kitchen counter with it, because there's nothing of value, is what the discovery was at the end. Or there's like three items out of 25 that matter, and the rest is like, if it's fun for you, do it. It's not like not a needle mover, it's not meaningful.
I think it depends on the person. I mean, I think for some people, that is a system that does work for them, that putting the time into creating that system is what gives them meaningful use of their time. I would use the word meaningful over productive because productive comes with expectations and all these different like layers of things for us. And some of that is because most of my clientele have tendencies toward guilt and shame. I'll just say it that way, right? And so I'm really careful with like reframing words and perspectives and things. I'm like, look, if you're a person that likes charts and spreadsheets and color coding and that brings you joy, go for it. Just make sure that what you're putting in them is meaningful and actually has a process for you that works. But if that's just a way for you to avoid doing the things that actually matter, well, that's a very different story.
Right.
And I think it's really hard to be honest and accurate with ourselves about those things, particularly when, like, I think back to the conversation with John. I think a lot of the busyness that he was talking about is tucked into pockets of space because we feel uncomfortable and we don't really want to do the work, or we don't really want to look. We're afraid to heal for a generalized term. It's like we don't know what that's going to look like. That's so unknown. So we avoid it at all costs. And busyness is a great way to do that because it makes us feel good. We look good to the external world when we're busy.
Absolutely. And I agree with you, Michelle. Those systems are not to blame. They can be a wonderful help. It's like anything. It can be a tool or it could be a hindrance, right? A deflection. Another reason. Say, well, I'm making my checklist. I don't have time. Like,
Yeah.
what are you actually doing with your time? What you assign to it.
Yeah, I remember at one point I used to keep this little book in my pocket. It was a leather bound book, and I can change the notepad out within it. And every time I would think of something that needed to be on the to-do list, I would write it down, write it down, write it down, write it down. And then by the time I was done, I had so many different buckets of different categories of tasks to do that it was overwhelming. To look at it brought just seriously large amounts of anxiety. I didn't have enough time if I'd had an army to get everything done that I'd written in that book. So then I would set up, I would have, okay, let's put 20 to-do items on my list for the day. And I would get 19 done, and then I would beat myself up over the one that didn't get done, rather than celebrating the 19 that did get done. And I find that many of us act that exact way. It's like when we look at it, instead of celebrating what we actually did accomplish, it's like, oh, I didn't get that one thing done. I'm such a piece of shit.
Love the way you say it. That should be a sound effect that people should have. Press a button. I'm such a piece of shit. Yeah, it's I wish I couldn't relate to what you just shared, but
Uh-huh.
last year this isn't like decades ago sometime, I found myself in a place where I hired like an operations manager to help me organize my business, my to-dos, right? It's all the different lanes of life. He got overwhelmed by the length of my list, and it was his job to sort through my list. My list had like over 800 items, line
Mhm.
items, of very much like what I had accumulated over time, just like you said, but in Excel form instead of a paper book.
Mhm.
And it was so much that in the end, what did I end up doing? I end up picking off the things that matter and just let the rest lie. Because clearly, if they mattered enough, I would have picked them up.
Yeah.
And so just picking up a handful and that, beating yourself up on the one thing you didn't do, those celebrations of victories and little victories, micro mini steps are so important. And I'm so glad that you brought that up because when we diminish ourselves and our accomplishments, we dim that light and then we become smaller and then we just sort of give up. And then we rob ourselves of joy that we could have had if we would have been high-fiving ourselves for all the things that we did and giving ourselves credit. And that we're not conditioned for that. That when I started the practice of that, it was very awkward, right? And it's awkward sometimes for my clients when they start. Like, oh, I did do all these things,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like when I've what I find sometimes works is whatever you've gotten done in the day, like keep that list. And at the end of the week, look at all the things that you did and feel good.
Mhm. Yeah, it's almost like we run a race on a regular basis, and when we cross the finish line, we look at the finish line and go, I didn't run far enough. Let's keep going. There's a new finish line out there." So we just start running again.
Right? Right. When is it good enough to be present? When is it enough to be here now and not somewhere else and
Yeah.
not wish your whole life away?